What it do, U.S. history students? Just want to give you a quick overview on the directions, some helpful hints for the battle stations activity. I used to do this type of thing in class. It was a little more exciting, but I think it has good information. It kind of shows you some visuals on what was going on during the war, so on and so forth. So again, the big purpose here is to explain the significant turning point events of the war, and then I also kind of broke it down a little bit more. So you look at what were the similarities and differences between the campaigns in the European and Pacific theater, whether that be who was fighting in them, how they kind of progressed over time, what the overall outcome was, things like what strategies and tactics and operations were used, things like that. So there's 4 different like battle stations, as we call them, but unfortunately for you, it's just going to be kind of 4 sets of documents. But each station is going to have like 3 to 4 maps or diagrams regarding one of the major topics or theaters of the war. So you're going to look at those and then answer the questions that go with each one. And then by the end, you should have a pretty good inclination of how the war progressed over time. And then as you get ready to do the atomic bomb part of the assignment, it'll be more helpful for you to understand what's going on during the war. So another thing you can do if you want, I used to do this as like a competition between groups, but code breaking was a very important new part of the war. So I kind of made this like makeshift code cipher part of this activity. If that enthuses you, feel free to do it. If it makes you lament my existence, then maybe don't do it, but that'll be at the end of each station. All right, so that'll be on there as well. So for example, station 1 is early war and Axis expansion. Basically you have 1, 2, 3, 4 maps and documents, exhibits basically, and then you have this one like summary question, which is going to be the most important one to answer. So again, if we're not directly collecting this work that you do right here, because we're going to be grading just the assignment sheet. So if you feel like you can get a good grasp on it without answering every single question, maybe just do the summary, whatever works for you. But I would highly suggest, if you are a little confused, to go back to these questions that guide you through the different documents. Okay, so I'll show you the example of station 1, but basically you have these sources right here, and this is station 1, map 1. It's the Battle of Britain, and it shows bombing sites that occurred during the battle all throughout London, basically. I said basically a lot of times, I apologize. You've got map 2, which is the division of France, which asks you some questions about that. It's got a little caption. Map 3 is the Eastern Front of Europe. And then map 4 is the Battle of Stalingrad, which was, spoiler alert, a pretty big turning point battle during the war. So check those out and then answer the questions, and then you should do the summary, and then you can move on to station 2. So each one of them represents a different area or topic of the war. So the very last one, I think, is all about technology and how warfare was adapting, things like the Manhattan Project, code breaking, aircraft carriers, things like that. Also, just so you can see what it looks like, if you go on to the end of this, right here, all the way at the end, there's this like codes. So each station has like a code. So some of the information from that station will be filled in here, and then the letters represent this code. And then by the end, you've created a cipher for yourself that you can use to answer this question, which some of you might already know if you know a lot about World War II. Or war in general. But if that makes it a little more exciting for you, please feel free to do it and check it out. And then if you don't know what the answer actually is, you like wrote it out right, but you don't know what it is, maybe look it up, check it out, okay? All right, I think that's all I got for you at the moment. So I'm gonna sign off here and hope that this thing works.